Hello, I'm Stephanie Wilson. I'm the instructor of the quantitative literacy course here at ASU Newport. So I wanted to go over the expectations for the final exam for this course. It is comprehensive and it's going to be a comprehensive project. It is measured by the ILO's institutional learning outcomes for this course. It's also going to be measuring the outcomes in this particular course. And we call it the Master Summit Assessment, which is the MSA. This measurement is just to determine that you have learned and gained some knowledge towards a material of this course, showing that you can master the course. I mean, if you learned absolutely nothing at all, then that means that there's no reason to pass the course. So this is a measurement as well as your final exam. Please understand, cheating, copying, or having someone else to do your work is not tolerated. You will receive a 0. The proper documents would be processed. Please read your handbook to understand the procedure in cheating and what's the consequences. Please, guys, this is for your benefit, not mine. This is for your benefit. I'm not going to read every little thing on this page, but I'm going to do my best to break it down so that you can understand what I'm expecting from you. And again, read the academic dishonesty in the handbook as well as here. No cheating is tolerated. If you do cheat, I mean, you say that you're hurting yourself. You are, but you're also hurting the people that depend on you in life. You're going to college for a reason. You're pursuing a dream. You're bettering your education, future in your education, whatever your reasons are. Eventually, someone is going to be in your care or dependent, or someone's going to depend upon you. So, cheating is not the best way out. So call me, email me if you have any questions. I am happy to go over it. Come meet me in my office. I am in Walton Hall, room 139 on our Newport site. All right, so let's get to the assignment. So this assignment is going to contain math work and some application processing and graphing, and technology. So I am going to strongly encourage you to break it down and do it in steps. I'm giving you today, April the 24th, all the way up to May 8th to complete this assignment. I strongly encourage you to work on this assignment a little bit every day to be successful with it. The grading rubric here is to receive full credit, you have to follow all the directions. You have to complete this assignment on your own. You're going to upload this assignment into Canvas, into this specific course, and I'm going to show you. Do not cheat. We have a system of the computer checking to make sure there was no plagiarism. Show all your work. If you just give me an answer to the math question or your solution, but all you give me is the answer, but you don't show me your solution, you don't see me your setup, your math work, then I'm not going to grade it. There's nothing there. No math work, no setup, no credit. If your problems that are blank or correctly answered with no logical explanation will be graded as a 0. That means it's non-attempted. And this credit solution without, if you create solutions without work setup, that will also be a 0. Problems that are honestly attempted but incorrectly answered are still eligible for partial credit. So showing your work, that's the only way I can help you. I have to see your work and I have to see that you did it. When you do your math work, you're going to do it in pencil and paper. I'll show you. Or I'll break it down. Not so much show you, but I'll break it down here in a minute. So each problem that is not fully attempted will not receive partial credit. You'll have 2 graphs here on 6. I will edit this. I'm going to edit this and put here. We're going to have 2 graphs. We're going to have 2 sketches. And I'm going to break that down here in a minute. You'll have to show your math work. It must be completed and provided for the problem on this assignment, as well as a statement. I also am asking you that any typed work must be 12 font times New Roman script and double spaced. So each part may have anywhere from 2 to 5 page paper proposal using this. I mean, not each part, my apologies, the whole thing. So each part may be a couple paragraphs long plus the math work. So I'll break that down in a minute. This assignment must be submitted by the due date. No late work will be accepted. So May the 8th is the deadline. If you try to turn it on May the 9th, it will not be accepted. I'm giving you plenty of time to complete this assignment and get it back to me in time for me to properly grade it, assess it. I'm going to need some time. It's going to take more than 1 day to grade and get your grades in. If you fail to do this, it can cause you to fail the course. This is a very big part of your grade. Only use the conversion sheets that are provided to you by the instructor. So whatever's been provided to you in this course is what you're going to use. After you have read all of this in detail, I need you to sign your name as it appears in Canvas and put the date. This page here will go on top. So order of how you upload your paperwork is crucial, very crucial. The order that you process it is very, very crucial. So this first page here, this one here that you have to sign and date, is going to be your top page. The next page will be your title page, whatever you want to call it. My world, Stephanie's life, Stephanie's future. What, how you want to call it, design that title page is up to you. But the very first page is this. Second, I want the title page, whatever you're going to title your world, your project. Next, step 0. That was talking about the documents in the cover page, in the title page. This next part is telling you that you're going to need certain materials. One, you're going to need access to your managing money project that you submitted earlier in the course. You're going to have to do some research. Figure out what state and city you want to live in, or you plan on living in and working in. You're going to need to have that information. You're going to need to do some probability and statistic research. So you're going to need to get some information. You're going to need at least 2 full pages of graphing paper. And what do I mean by full pages? I have some graphing paper. My apologies. I get it pulled out. And I also added an attachment here too. This is what I'm talking about. It's a full page of graphing paper. You will need at least 2 because you're going to have 2 sketches. And you're going to need some writing paper for your math work. And then you're going to have a works cited page. So as you're doing this, make sure you have a works cited page that you're adding to. And if you don't know how to do a works cited page, please reach out. Okay. Step 1, page number 2 of the actual writing process is going to be your introduction. Your introduction is going to be a brief description of what your paper contains. This is your story. I want you to introduce yourself. I want you to give me an introduction to this. It should not be less than 1 paragraph, no more than 1 page to do your introduction. The next one says continuing with page 2. So if your introduction is 1 or 2 paragraphs, you're going to start at the bottom of that page and do this next part. What I want you to do is I want you to go to that money managing project that you submitted, and I want you to do a summary, not copy and paste it. I want you to do a summary over that information that you had collected over your goals, your future occupation, income, tax bracket. You'll follow in your benefits, retirement, savings, nest egg, stocks, budget, expenses, personal and work, financial priorities, goals, family size, loans, whatever loans they may be, student loans, car, home, auto, buying or renting or building a home, out-of-pocket expenses for business and home, location and area where you're going to plan to live and work, insurance for the home, vehicle, business, health, and so on. I need that summary. And in that summary, you should have already done some graphs like pie charts or histograms or linear graph, whatever it may be. You had to done something in there. Attach those. So if you wanted to do your summary, so you got some writing going on right here, and then you attach a graph in there, that's fine. After you're done typing all this stuff up, you're going to attach your math work. Now, order is very important. I just told you I wanted the document that you signed here as your first, and then I want your title, and then your introduction, and now we're going to talk about your managing money. So the first part of the managing money is going to be your top summary with your graphs and your math, if you used a chart or whatever you may use, Excel, you're going to put it in there. And then you're going to do your math work. You're going to upload it. It should be written on paper showing me how you actually arrived at those answers. Some of you may type it, that's fine. Just whatever, just make sure it's in that order. If you type it up, you may type it up in your summary process, that's fine. But if you do your math work on a separate paper, it's got to go in after your summary. This should include, like I said, it should be anywhere from 3 paragraphs to 2 pages. It shouldn't be that long. 3 paragraphs should be good, plus your math work and your graphs. Or your Excel sheet, whatever you have. Step 3 here, we're going to have a new page. Now we're going to talk about statistics. So from this section here, you're going to do probability and statistics. That was covered in the course. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. And the first part, there's 2 parts of this research I want you to do. The first part, I want you to go get the population of the city and state where you plan to live. And go get that population. And I got a video in there that I added on how to create a regression sheet in Excel. This will help you get your equation. So if you collect data over a period of time and you put it in there, and you create your chart, when you create that chart, it's going to give you a linear regression line. It's going to let you know if it's got to be exponential growth or exponential decay. So go collect that data, do the research, works side. Remember, as we're going, you're adding to your works cited page. And so I want you to determine the future rate of income in that area. Also, if your job is seasonal, what are the factors that can influence the growth and or decay? So when you figure out the population today versus the estimated population, so you're going to have to do some research. How's it been doing? Is it got a growth, decay? But anyways, you're going to determine if there's going to be a growth, or it's based on your job, because remember, some jobs are only successful in certain areas. So you're going to have to do a little bit of research. If you have any questions, just reach out. Some jobs are seasonal. If you plan to have investment, oops, I apologize, guys. If you plan to have investments, what estimate the growth rate of your investment for the next 20 years? So do a little bit of that research. Based on your research, will the population experience exponential growth or decay, and what difference in population for the next 20 years? So remember, where you're choosing to live can play a role in where you have to work or want to work, need to work, and if it's going to have a growth or decay. Those do factor in. The next part is I want you to do some research on the schools, the local schools in that area. And you'll need to go back at least 10 years to get some data and do some research and figure out what is the standardized test scores over that period of time. And then after you collect that data, I want you to calculate the mean, median, mode of the test scores. And based on your research, determine the range, the 5-number summary. And based on your findings of the standardized test, would you choose to enroll your children? So if you say, I'm not planning on having children, I want you to act like you are. determining here. You may end up raise your nieces and nephews or friends' kids. So, anyways, I want you to still do this. Provide a thorough explanation of your reasoning and assume that you will have children at this time. Show all your math work. So you're going to have a paper you're going to have the summary of this information that you calculated, where you plan to live, and blah, blah, blah. And you're going to have some graphs, right? You're going to plug in, a exponential graph, regression lines, whatever you use to show. You're going to plug that in, and then you're going to have a page of math work written in pencil, unless you're that person that wants to type it. And then you're going to submit that. It's going to be, I want to say about 2 to 3 paragraphs, if not a full page. There shouldn't be any more than that. You want to, from your findings, you want to make sure and create that graph of your population growth and decay. And also you want a graph of your standardizing. So there's 2 graphs that you should have. Be sure to title and label the axes of each graph. So if you want to use this as a checklist, you could. The next part says we're going to reference to our geometry and measurement section of this course. So you're going to have 2 sketches. The first sketch is going to be of the home and versus workplace that you're going to live at, and the location of a school that your child may go to. You want to calculate the longitude and latitude of each place. You want to calculate the distance between each place, the midpoint of each place. You're going to graph from units. So let me explain this right quick before we go any further. Let's scroll down. I actually put this on here. I thought that would be a great image or example of what I'm talking about. Take you a full graph, and you don't have to put the whole Arkansas or Texas, Florida, wherever you plan on living on here, just the corner or the middle or what part, and put the Cartesian coordinate over it, and you're gonna break it down in quadrants. So like this is quadrant 1 and so on. And you're gonna find, and you're gonna actually graph where you're gonna live and work, and then what, so you need to measure each square, which is called units here. You can say 1 unit is 1 mile. On this one here, the example is 1 unit is 3 miles. So create your own. That was a good example of what I was looking for. The second sketch you are going to do is okay, so before we go any further, so this is going to have a sketch, and that's going to have math work on a separate piece of paper. Okay, make sure and label your graph. You got to label everything about it. Don't just draw it and assume that I'm going to understand it. You plot where you're going to live, plot where you're going to work, plot where your children are going to go to school. What quadrant did it actually fall if you was to put the Cartesian coordinate over that state? What is the distance, blah, blah, blah. And then and what's each unit represent? And then you're going to have a sheet of paper afterwards that's going to have a summary. All you need is at least one little summary about it. And then the math work. Your second sketch, however, you're going to create a blueprint. And in this blueprint is going to be a home. If you could today go build a home, this is what I want. I know some of you are going to say, I'm going to rent. Some of you are going to say, I'm not going to build a home. Some of you are going to say, I've already got the home. That's fine. But for this assignment, you're going to draw a blueprint over a house. And in this house, you're going to calculate its perimeter, area, volume of each room, and then the whole total. You should have no less than 2 bedrooms, at least 1 or more bathrooms, kitchen, living room, etc., laundry room, whatever you may have. Label each room, and I want to show you. I attached some examples down here. And this is just a full sheet of graphing paper. I thought maybe this would be a good visual as to what I was talking about. So here's some examples of some. You see that these here are labeled. The measurements of the rooms. The rooms are open, so they're really, well, this room's not. But most of the rooms are open, so they measured each room. If you check it out, you'll see that they got calculations on the side. I like this one. It has a breakdown of the rooms, in the dimensions. And then this one here, this one's a pretty good one as well. The only thing is they didn't tell you what size each unit is. You need to do that. You need to state the size of the units. And what I'm calling units is those squares. All right. So then after you do that, you're going to need to create you a list of all the items that you need for that house. 2x4 by 8s, 2x4 by 10s, blah, blah, blah. Calculate what you needed. You know, if you're going to measure so many feet, you need to calculate how many 2x4s you need to have to build your frame. Do you need any running around the base of it? How many you're going to have, which in your studs is what they're called. How many plywoods? You want sheetrock on the inside. You want siding on the outside. Get a good game plan about what all items you need. Figure out and make that statement on your list. Calculate how much each item is going to cost and what's the grand total to build. Just an estimate, because you know there's going to be more. You got electric, you got plumbing, you got the furniture, appliances, you got the walls, the flooring. So I'm just trying to give you a good idea. The roof, are you wanting a metal roof? You want a shingle roof? So figure all that out, make your list. And so you're going to have your sketch. You're going to draw out your blueprint. Your next page is going to be a summary with explanation about what you want, blah, 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 how you found this, what you're looking for. This is, you know, do your summary. And then you're going to have a list of each items you're going to need. You need 10 2x4s, which you're going to need way more than that, but I'm just giving you a list, an idea, and how much they cost for that many. What's the grand total? You can do that in Excel if you wanted to, right? And then you're going to have a math page, a page where you calculated everything. If you use the Excel, you need to make sure and make a statement and show each item costs this, and we have this many items. The total is this. You cannot skip steps here. So if you use Excel, make sure you have the breakdown like you would if you was writing it on paper. And then make sure whatever research. So if you use Lowe's or Home Depot or a construction site, I don't know all the places' names. Those are just the big ones you see on the TV all the time. Use those. Make sure you put in that as a works cited page. If you reference to a construction company, put in their works put in their link for your works cited page. You're going to reference everything. All right. So once you've gotten that completed, 1 to 4 page narrative, including, I just gave you some examples as to how to do your units. Each one square could be 1 foot, or it could be a 1/2 foot, 6 inches. It could be 1/4 foot, 3 inches, depending on actual size. Use 1 to 4 page narrative. You need summary of the location you choose, what's determining factors of your choice, including latitude, longitude data as well. Calculate distance midpoint. So the first sketch, you just plotted it. You didn't really draw it, right? Then you plotted the work and school on there, and you've got an idea of all that. And then next, you're going to actually draw a blueprint. So a summary of the building materials needed, cost, details, all math work. You have to show math work. This is a math class. Next, you're going to do a conclusion. Once you're done with all that, your conclusion, a brief description of what you have learned from this assignment while completing this project. What have you learned that you can use in future decisions? What did you like most and least about the project? If you were to do this project again, what would you change? And then your last page should be your works cited page. So holler at me if you have any questions. Again, I attached all this other as a helpful visual aid. Thank you.